Driving through hell. This video of someone racing through hell is pretty terrifying. The driver speeds down a lonely road as fires blaze beside them and smoke shrouds their vision. It isn't actually hell, of course. It's a massive forest fire that began May 1st, 2016 in Fort McMurray, Alberta. It lasted for several days, spread several miles, and caused over $3 billion worth of damage. This driver was likely trying to get through the mess right when it began to pick up. Plenty of people fear fire and natural disasters, but when you consider religion, even more people not only believe in but fear the possibility of hell. Even some that aren't religious fear the off chance of being sent to an eternal oven of pain and suffering. Seeing a video like this is pretty chilling, but being in a situation like this is probably much worse. This is literally a life or death situation, with a terrifying scenery to accompany it and remind anyone able to see it that this could possibly be their eternity after death. Pete the Meat Puppet. This is yet another video that has gained quite a bit of popularity across the web. Pete the Meat Puppet is a musical-like animation uploaded in 2008. It seems to be a type of parody of children's cartoons, as it has fun lyrics and cheerful music, but it also parodies the common fall down of a famous celebrity. The images in some of the lyrics are quite unsettling, and certainly not meant for a younger audience, which puts the whole video in this weird limbo category. Basically, the story goes that a lonely lunch lady created a little boy out of raw meat that eventually comes to life and becomes famous with a fast food franchise.
A household name, my face was pasted everywhere. I had so much fortune, so much fame, was on TV screens, magazines, limousines, designer jeans. I had 3 kids, make mansions, married me an ex-beauty queen.
He becomes addicted to sex, drugs, and alcohol before a sex tape is released, and he loses everything. He is forced to live on the street and prostitute himself. He explains that maggots and worms crawl through him, and he becomes so hungry he eats his own leg. He then says he's traveling town to town trying to find the meaning of life. While the song and story are more of a joke, the production decisions for this meat puppet make everything a little more horror-based than the creators probably intended. No. 911 call, stalker outside window. This video is filmed from the inside of an upper floor apartment, where an eerie figure has been staring up into the owner's bedroom window for several hours apparently. The owner decided to start recording in case anything drastic happened, or in case the suspect fled the scene. He would have some evidence to offer police. The video is pretty much just a shot out the window of this figure standing perfectly still and staring directly at the owner as he's on the phone with 911.
There's this guy just like standing outside my window. And he's just like looking up at the window. He's been there for about 30 minutes now. And
This actually is the first of over 25 videos in a small series where a couple seems to document their time being stalked by an unknown man that even breaks into their home. Of course, many viewers seem to think it's scripted, but regardless, it can face the fear of pretty much anyone living in the city. Not only are there people out there interested in breaking in and stealing from you, there's plenty of sick people out there that just want to mess with your head. The first few videos of this series with the man standing below the window are especially haunting as the quality is low and his face cannot be seen. Illusion of bias. This video is the product of Influential Pictures, Alexander Bizarski, and Sparks Rojas. From the message offered at the beginning and the end of this project, it can be assumed that the main message here is to be grateful for what you have, to not constantly question what you're given or ask for more, to not be filled with insecurities when you're perfectly healthy, and so on. The video starts with images of gray, raining, hustling and bustling city scenes. Messages flash along the screen such as everyone has their own insecurities and issues. The short film then goes on to tell a horrifying tale of a young girl who has a cancerous tumor. She underwent surgery and doctors successfully removed the tumor with no major problems. However, some part of her psyche was tampered with and she was never able to see her own face again. In the film, this is met with images of a girl with a blank or blurred out face. She fell into a depression, constantly insecure about her appearance, and constantly unsure of herself. One night, she had a wonderful dream where she felt euphoric and knew that she could see her face again. This portion of the video is pretty innocent with scenery from a field of wheat, as the girl bounds around in a white dress. The only thing haunting about this portion of the video is the deep distorted voice saying, "Everything will find its place, go with the flow."
Everything is going to find its place. Just relax and go with the flow. Just go with the flow.
The girl awakens from her dream and goes on to look in the mirror, only to find that she's hideous and deformed. The image we are met with here is probably one of the most terrifying from the video. Her face seems to have scar tissues as well as open wounds. Certain parts of her face are not where they belong. Her eyes bulge out abnormally, and she seems to be shrouded behind a layer of skin. She returns to bed and wishes to never see her face again. According to the story, she luckily never does, but every night she wakes up in a pool of her own vomit. A message then comes across that this could happen to anyone, even to you. There are plenty of images, sounds, and animations that make this clip even more horrifying. So if you'd like to watch it in its entirety, check the link below, or don't, just go with the flow. Hampstead cover-up, or Papa Kills Babies. In February 2015, the affluent area of Hampstead, London came under fire after a viral video where two children seemed to expose an underground ring of child sex slavery, pedophilia, and murder. The first video to make its round was titled Papa Kills Babies. In this video, two children estimated between the ages of 8 and 11 are talking to a male and female behind the camera. The first things they say in the video is that
we decided to stop touching each children and stop touching each other and stop touching ourselves.
And what else are you going to stop?
And stop killing babies.
Of course, right off the bat, this video is questionable, inappropriate, and a little confusing. As it goes on, the children explain that they're going to help bring justice to all of the people that have done sex to them. This, of course, is a more PG way of explaining that they were going to bring pedophiles that have raped them to justice. The man behind the camera, possibly a cop or investigator, asks the children who has done sex to them. They go on to list that their father, someone named Papa, their teachers, social workers, priests of some kind, and even police officers have either raped or molested them. They go on to explain even more bizarre and terrifying aspects of this situation. They explain that there's some sort of church run by Papa where he sacrifices babies, drinks their blood, keeps their skulls, and dances around them. Apparently, these children are involved in these strange rituals. They explain that they help Papa kill the babies. The way they describe the step-by-step process of murdering these infants is uncanny to the way you'd picture a satanic sacrifice. The story quickly took a turn from unsettling to pure nightmare fuel. A blog titled The Hampstead Cover-Up explains this case in much further detail about how the children have given information on all of those involved in this cult-like sex ring and how they were taken from their parents' custody by the state. They were taken under the grounds that they needed to be questioned as their safety was uncertain. However, as stated by the children in the video, social services are in on this sick game and their mother's efforts to get her children back have been unsuccessful. This blog also shares interviews with the children conducted by a child psychologist. After the original video went viral, the things explained by these children were exactly the same as in the first video. Aside from some details that were pretty more specific, this makes it hard to pass the entire story off as a child's imagination, as it'd be unlikely for them to remember such details without them having actually happened. More importantly, unless their parents were allowing them to scroll the deep web, they wouldn't even know how to describe such imagery. This has become a story all in its own that involves a possible cult, mind control, sex slavery, murder, and government conspiracy. Ever since the first video was posted, it was removed from YouTube several times and was even banned in the UK. For that reason, most of this video will be cut short, and the children's faces will be blurred. However, if you want more information on this roller coaster of a cover-up, you can visit the blog, which will be linked down below.